What's up, guys? Welcome back to day one, week one of the PCS3 North America. I mean, I can safely say every game is going to be a disappointment after that one, Godspeed. That was just like, that's just NA PUBG, right? I absolutely love it.
I mean, where do we go from here? What possible circle can we get now at this point that's gonna kind of overshadow the last game we had? So far, group stages have been a success.
Yeah, we can wrap it up now. That's it. The content. We've got enough clips from those two games alone to cover it.
The games are complete. We're good at this point. No, but I mean, again, Tactical 8 really coming out and grabbing the points that we'd like to see. Team Clueless as well kind of made it towards the end of, I think towards the end of the first game, finding a nice little bit of success in the second game. But Hardshift's for me, the way that at least I've seen them wrap the circle in the previous game, the way that they took control of the circle, which I think you and I both thought that Fabled had done pretty much a fantastic job of kind of closing the space on that, but Hardshifts came out and they opened that up. So I really like seeing this from Hardshifts. The roster has not changed. I think obviously Maluk, you and I have very high opinions of Luke and his game knowledge and the way that he thinks about the game. And it's just good to see that all come to fruition with the same roster. It seems like they're really working on the issues that, you know, they have and they're getting better. So I love to see it.
Yep. So we do have the leaderboard from the previous match. So you can take a look at how the points lie. Obviously, Hardshift's coming out, 5 kills in the win, 15 points overall, but a much more even spread that time around. That's just due to so many teams getting so much action throughout that. Got 3 teams locked in with 9, Gravity, Sonics, and Duel. And Gravity was one that, you know, just, again, we probably missed it in that Clown Fiesta that happened up on the north side, but they just somehow just made it through the mid-game with like 8 kills. And, I mean, they picked up one more after we were on board with them, but other than that, really, I mean, it kind of tells the story. Veritas, dead last with the donut, and it's heartbreaking for them. It really is.
They had such a strong position. The issue is that when you have 16 players start to converge on your position, it gets a little dicey as far as how much you can actually defend that. But also Duel picked up 9 points as well, and they they very early on were kind of getting pushed back, but I think it was Fabled, if I'm not mistaken, up at that 12 pack of yellows on the ridge. But Duel found some kills as well, and they managed to snake some placement, so good on them. Overall, again, this is just the first day. Second game, there's really aren't a lot of stories to be spoken about, but I think one of those is definitely Hardshifts and TAC 8 finding the consistency.
It is, yeah. And I mean, look at that. Again, it's just not a storyline we would have expected given the recent history with Tactical 8. But hats off to them. It's been a fantastic start for them. They've looked really, really good in both games. And we've had, a good data sample in terms of 2 very different circles, right?
Yeah.
And they perform very well in both. Sonic's off to a good start, 17 kills, 6 placement points. But again, definitely expecting them to pick up the slack as they kind of get the ball rolling, build some momentum. I guess it's 2 games. Can we really talk about, the bottom half and towards the right side of the leaderboard?
I think we talk about Shoot to Kill having 0 points. I mean, honestly, that's really disappointing.
I mean, actually borderline unacceptable, but I mean, another one for me is surprised. We talked about Zenith. We gassed them up a little bit.
We did.
And again, you got to cut them some slack. They were one of the teams involved in that mess up on the Pachinki Hill. Hopefully they can turn that around, right?
Yeah, I think they will. Again, kind of something that I mentioned earlier in the basically when we started the broadcast. I'm really curious to see how Miramar shapes up more than anything, more than Erangel, because for the most part, I think this is kind of the tried and true for a lot of these guys. Miramar always tends to be the map that shakes things up and throws teams kind of off for a loop. Obviously, we have teams that are stronger in Miramar and teams that are stronger in Erangel. But wait, what is this? What's all this? What's all this then?
What's going on here?
So Beck from Ascendance, and he knows. He definitely knows. Oh, that was a nice.
Oh, that nearly came out past the door. Oh, he actually found
what?
Evasion actually falls off the nade. Beck.
That's quite honestly one of the best grenades I think I've seen in all of PCS.
I'm teabagging. If I get that knock, I'm teabagging. I'm shooting the body for the next 5 minutes.
He heard him take the step, which is why, because if you can see, he shifted at the last second.
Yeah,
that nade was live. Yeah, that pin was gone. What a freaking grenade, man! Holy hell.
Well, we might get your Primorsk ending.
That's true. We might just. And Team Clueless actually set up quite well for it up there in court. So this is a question from me to you. I don't know why the hell obviously it's a question for me. Ignore that. Where would you play in the circle? Like if you could set up here, because I feel like these circles down here near Quarry are some of the most ambiguous. When you have the pick of the litter as far as where to go, I don't really feel like it's always clear cut.
And again, this is coming from when we used to drop Rozhok. I would be, hang on, actually, Tanaka find him.
Oh, Beck.
Of all the players to find in response, it's the nade man. Beck will fall. Immediate response from Tanaka. And again, that's Beck trying to get away as well. He's literally just trying to get away. He's like, I've done the hard work. Get the hell out of Dodge. But no, and again, from a player that dropped in Rozhok and School previously before that, I mean, I would be leaving at like the 3-minute mark to get to the south side of Quarry.
Yeah.
That spot right there is just... I mean, you could argue a lot of the times. I mean, Quarry doesn't get fed much anymore. It used to get fed a lot.
Teams on Quarry, yeah. I remember if you were on top of Quarry, you were generally getting a lot of kills. But another position as well is to the compound of the west of the God compound, the one closest to the road with that the double glass building.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I don't even remember what we used to call that compound.
I don't think it ever had a name.
I don't think it did either. Yeah. That compound's also very good. I don't know. This circle is just... This may very well be another very awkward circle for these teams. Especially because we only realistically have 5 teams that are actually in the circle.
I mean, there's one man in this lobby that we know has the deepest seeded West Coast circle roots, and that's Maluk. And he's down at the God compound. So Hardshift's already repositioning very early. And then again, it's fantastic for them, right? They've had a really, really good start to the day. And that's the circle you want to see on the last Erangel game. So to see how things shape up for them. Sonic's already making moves at a similar time. We would expect them to be before 4 minutes 30. So already heading out. They're going to get themselves down to the hill here. Maybe do a little bit of scouting. Not sure how split they are. I can't see the others on. Oh, there you go. H1 and Shrimsy. H1 catches some airtime there. Let's go,
and
dude.
he lands it too, clean.
Yeah.
Nice little ollie off the top of the hill there. Shrimsy is just drifting. That is impressive.
Yeah, Sonic's definitely looking to get themselves into a strong scouting position over here. And again, it's a hill that sometimes sees a lot of action. I mean, this is a common spot for people to pull up. They scout the barn compound. They scout everything over towards the west. Really good options from here.
And that's not necessarily the scope you want to be working with on a Car 98, but to each their own. I don't think Sociopath found anything else, but that's a really good point as well. Oh, what is this? Lister going to find Nick from Team Clueless. But just a real quick point back to that hill. You're absolutely right. It is a fantastic point of point to scout from, but it's hard to hold that, Pac. It's really hard to hold that hill. And so I think that's exactly what they did. They got some information, and now they're starting to rotate off of it and figure out where they want to be. And still, most of the team's not in the circle.
I was going to say, a lot of people not making moves just yet. I mean, really, really... a dense covering across the center of the circle right now. So lots of teams opting to come early. Zenith making ways down the west coast. This is a good opportunity for them to find
it's a free rotation.
Really good real estate, to be honest with you. There's not an awful lot of pressure along this west road.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to probably even go up to that lighthouse potentially, or really wrap down to the south if they want to get a lot of information. I mean, this is what the hill I was talking about across from the compound. This is a good position to actually sit and hold, because not only can you camp the road and other rotations, but you have quite a lot of sightlines coming in, and you can really use the terrain around you to fight. However, you can also get trapped here, so it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I do apologize for a little bit of observer lag. Hopefully that will smooth out as the game progresses. It's usually only in the early game, but do excuse people rubber banding a little bit. Mon Harty's actually going to pull away from this and give Zenith a little bit of breathing room. Again, I mean, still 6 teams outside the circle? Oath have set up on the bridge now. They're expecting Tactical 8.
4, 5, 6. teams. Yeah, about 6 teams. TAC 8, I'm curious what their angle of approach is going to be here.
I think they caught wind of Oath's bridge camp. So now they're like back to the drawing board. Like, we just, like, we'll take the hit. We'll take the hit on Circle 1 Blue.
I also really like the fact that I'm not sure if Oath is bridge camping. It looks like they're possibly set up the way they did last game, where they're just waiting for the opportunity to cross. But I feel like with a circle like this, when you have the ability to, really thwart a team and cripple them or get points, we don't really see that enough, to be completely honest. I know in EU they're more prone to playing a little more aggressive on these bridges, but overall in NA, I mean, those are almost free rotations most of the time, which I don't know why.
It's one of those unspoken agreements. I mean, it goes both ways, right? It's
true. Do you remember the early days of PUBG comp, though? Those bridges were a death trap.
Dude, no holds barred. Just every man for himself.
I just remember if you rotated late and you pulled up to bridge, there was like 7 blown up vehicles or something just sitting at the front of the entrance. You're like, okay, we're not doing this.
It used to work out for us. We used to get more meds. We could med longer in the blue.
True.
Fantastic.
You could also swim and med. You remember that?
That was, dude, I used to remember military circles coming from North George. Oh my God.
That is a
nightmare. And we'd drive for 4 minutes on a bad plane to get to North George and then still have to go to Millie. It was dark days.
Fabled
dark
actually.
Days.
It was dark days. Fabled is actually set up right above Oath, though. The same spot that we saw a number of teams last game, that kind of Cornshuckers dip there. I miss the Cornshuckers, man.
Yeah.
A lot of reminiscing from us.
The original vehicle fort team.
Yep. They were pioneers, man.
They would, yeah, they really did. Trendsetters. They would build a compound anywhere.
It's true. And look,
yoink.
That shift. Really good for Zenith. And One Eyed Open here. Still just fine for hardships, actually. They're in a pretty good position in that swamp compound there. And here comes the fight for One Eyed Open as Zenith is starting to pull up Punage with the top of this, or at the crest of this little hill here. Nade's coming out. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble as One Eyed Open is spreading out very well for this. He's going to find a knock. Nice shots from Punage. Can he get the second one? No, he's going to go down. And just like that, 2 members from Zenith have been knocked. It's just Roth and Shinboy now. Roth on the other side at the wall. Shinboy's got a beautiful shots coming out from him.
Oh, the nade's money. Oh, no, he backed off. Perfect time for him to back off. But
what a nade.
Some damage to the downs. D-Rich he's gonna steal one away at distance. He's gonna steal the second away at distance as well. So Zenith potentially able to reset and get both revives out of this. Not necessarily the end of the world for them, but the damage has been done to One Eye Open.
That knock from Shinboy was massive and stabilizing this. Yeah.
Disgusting. Clean it up.
Poon is going to get up. Roth is now going to be able to cross over as well, get into the dip, and potentially even set up under the compound to get a little aggressive. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Maybe just getting a little bit of information. And One Eye Open is actually just gone. They just gave it up.
Yeah, I guess, they're a 2-man now. Just send somewhere, try and survive. See another couple of circles. Hopefully get themselves into placement, but it's a long road ahead of them. And Swamp is not the kind of place you want to be playing.
No.
As a duo trying to survive, because we know that if the circle goes there again, or I mean, even if the circle goes elsewhere and Swamp becomes a good position, it's
teams
it's usually it's usually 3 or 4 teams just full send.
And most of the time as well, when you come into Swamp, like you're very diligent about clearing those buildings because it is a common spot for solos or duos, as we see with One Eyed Open, to sit. So, I mean, we'll see how the rest of the game plays out for them. But losing 2 like that, I like the push. I like the way they approached it, but it just wasn't enough. And now we have Sonics and Veritas coming through, and I think Sonics potentially may just set up under them, Pac.
Yeah, I don't think Sonics want this fight. They don't want to engage onto Observatory. Maybe just a couple of warning shots. Keep Veritas guessing. You can see Mime paving the way towards the swamp. Going to get down, maybe take control of a couple of the buildings on the outside. But yeah, you're right. They could set up on the rocks. They could set up on the ridge that Shrimsy's at. They might just want to mess with them, put a little bit of damage onto the vehicles, maybe remove some helmets.
Yeah, any damage.
This is always it's always such an awkward fight. That's the problem there.
I really hate fighting. I hate fighting both inside that building as well as fighting on the outside of it, especially this specific one because of the hills. I mean, you can be surrounded, but at the same time, you can't push it. It's just, It's so awkward. I agree with you 100%. And unfortunately for One Night Open, the team that did decide to kind of head into the swamp is Sonic. So we'll see if they can kind of fend them off. Meanwhile, in the North, again, something about the North today. Liberate, I think it's potentially the way these teams rotate. We have Ascendance, we have Rumblers. Gaxi is going to go down. Liberate. I mean, 3 teams continuously fighting themselves in the North. And Rumblers actually, I think, for the most part today, have been rotating in from the North.
They have, and I mean, it's again not such a bad shift this time around, but I'm laughing because of how many teams are down to the south. That's the reason it's funny.
I'm pretty sure Rumblers have been looting Yas, by the way. I think that's the spot that
yes, they have.
Yeah.
They have.
So Clueless is going to skate by. Remember, they lost Nick earlier, and that UAZ does not have a front left tire.
It's still doing some speed.
It does.
Doing some speed.
As long as it's 1 tire, it's not the end of the world. Once you lose 2 or 3, then obviously that's when you really have the problems. But that fan is working overtime because it is hot as hell.
And I mean, Clueless just looking for a home anywhere, really. Zenith should still be trailing around this compound somewhere. The 4-man of Duel have made it up to... see, what do you call this one? I call this one Pride Rock.
Pride Rock was the one we called it... military base, the one that actually looks like
you mean on Military Island?
Yeah, on Military Island, and the
this one's
very northwest.
This one's either Pride Rock or Lion King. It's one of the two.
I'm down to call it whatever you want to call it, Puck. I'll be honest with you at this point. No, I'm being serious. We'll go with Pride Rock. I like it.
So again, chat will correct us.
Oh, of course. Snacker's going to find a kill there onto Shrew. Unfortunately, Balefrost did get knocked. They're going to clean it up, but Pat is also gone now. So Oath, the 3-man with 1 kill. And it's been a little rough for Oath at the start of this. Garnered some points here or there, but some of these rotations have been rough. Obviously, that last game crash was not in their favor, as now looks like NHS is going to bleed out as well. It's just Hambino now.
Throwing hands in the field. Yeah, looking at it, really. I mean, Sonic's, again, I like the decision making. Don't take the fight with Observatory. It's not really worth. Now they've got themselves in a good spot. Duel actually put him back down to the south a little bit. Maybe just wanted to prioritize the south edge. But some pressure coming down because Zenith have Zenith crossed the road, or are they at the yellows?
Zenith is...
no, they're at the double one story.
Wait, did they... Oh, they did leave the compound. So they're at the 2 reds. Yeah, the double reds.
So that's interesting. Duel now... I was
going to
say...
Not... Go ahead, sorry.
No, all I was going to say is not a great position, but they can't let Tactical 8 get any closer.
Yeah, the issue is if they get backfilled on that hill, like for instance, if Duel decides to go on that dip, they have an amazing view on that road, or even the side of the cornfield there. You can skirt up it, but if you have someone behind you in those dips that Zenith had initially fought One Night Open in, you can't move from that spot. Luckily for them, it's out, so they don't really have to worry about it. They just have to hold their back, which is what you were saying. They have to hold out the teams from the south.
Yeah, I mean, Oath actually spending a lot of time with this fight down at the second swamp.
This is good for nobody, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for Oath, I mean, maybe if they take this, they pick up the kill points, they dip out, because they're not going to be able to get a good spot in this circle. They're going to have to send it in blind.
Yeah. And Relo's knocked. I mean, Roslo Snake, I mean, this is a team that's taking the fight to them. Kenny, Snakers. Rare miss from Snakers.
It's actually a
nice
flank coming up, Sociopath.
Nice,
yeah, look at that nade.
Beautiful stuff.
Okay, made up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I mean, we don't really often see Snakers whiff, so, and it wasn't really a whiff. I mean, he had shots on, he just couldn't finish the knock. Ooh, nice from the Dean. Balefrost now, Snakers knocks. Relo was able to get recovered, so this is going to be a 2-on-1, and that's going to be it. Yep.
Good cleanup. Again, the timing's not great for them.
No.
You can hear already Balefrost trying to reposition a vehicle for them to get the hell out of there, but
it's going to be close. I'm pretty positive, though, that nade and turn that Snakers had is what saved Oath in that fight, or potentially
Yeah.
helped them win that. Because if that flank was
I mean, if
pulled
he
off,
gets that downhill angle would have been deadly.
yeah, that was amazing by Snakers to clean up that kill. And now Oath is going to be able to rotate, albeit a little late. They're still going to make it in, which is the most important part, with 3 up and 5 kills. So in the end, it was actually worth it.
But we know Swamp is occupied, and Oath don't have too many options.
No, and they are not necessarily blindsiding it. They're obviously wrapping a little bit. They just didn't have the information they wanted to gather, because of that fight. So they still have a little time to take. I'm sure they'll take it. And look at this. Hampino. Right under TAC 8 here. And this is that spot I was talking about, that ridge you can kind of work on foot. It looks like TAC 8 maybe potentially trying to do that. Where did Zenith go? Because Zenith actually moved
further
up.
north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a really good position, actually, to hold in the circle. I really like where Zenith relocated to. As Oath now just trying to make it in. Again, they had a little bit of time to scout. It looks like they did use that time wisely, and they're trying to find their way in the edge, but this is a very busy edge. There's a lot of players. Bearfrost's not even in a vehicle at this point.
I like this, though. A little bit of a contingency. If the vehicles don't find anywhere, maybe, but... Okay.
And Bearfrost is going to go down.
Yeah, the contingency falls.
Yeah. But Snakers and Reload still made it in. So either way, this is now the second duo that's going to find themselves in Swamp, as they are taking shots from Wide Open. And Sonics has moved further up towards the little baby island there. Yeah, the little baby. I was trying to figure out a way to call it, but it is a little island in Swamp. Yep. As Zenith, again, with a great position here. They can work to the north if they absolutely have to. They can also wrap down a little more towards the south if they want to take out tier 8. The problem will be gravity as far as the sightlines they'll have on them. But yeah, it looks like the wrap down to the south is going to be the play for them. The problem is Duel and Tactical 8 are there as they're starting to engage.
Yeah, Wooly actually being very cautious about this one. I think he's going to try and nade onto the UAZ, and Lush is not there. So
good nades, though.
This could be baiting Wooly in a little bit. The underhand from Lush, not going to find anything that side. Interesting decision not to stick the first aid kit there. Maybe he was expecting to peak a little bit early, but it's just a matter of time.
I think he's going for it now. Cover coming in from Steezy. I think that was probably communicated. Maybe not. Lush still holding the angle.
Lush just found Wooly here, so the first blood does go over to Tactical 8. The follow-up Molly is a little bit deep, but William and Steezy have a good opportunity to swing on this ridge. I don't know what the line of sight is like to the north.
Steezy and Zealot. I mean, there we go. Finally, William's going to find Lynxie, and now Duel in a lot of trouble, Puck. Cherry basically has to kind of anchor this. No, you do still have Penta. He's in the building. Nope, it's just down to Penta now. Nicely done from TAC 8.
This is not the same.
This is not the same exact. You're in my head. I was about to say, this is seriously not the same team. There's a lot of, you don't want to be in there.
I mean,
I love this from these guys. I really love this from TAC 8. I don't know what changed. I mean, obviously, a few things, but this is a completely different team.
Hambino literally just playing voyeur here.
Oh yeah,
he's from the field.
He's hanging out. It looks like actually Ascendance now pushed onto Zenith here.
Poon is just threw another vertical utility and it caught Ripper on fire and Magi, I think. Roth actually falling to his own
Molly
Molotov. He had some Fs in chat for Roth.
I didn't think we'd see a summit today, but 1G does show its ugly face, and the Sentence has actually done a really good job of penetrating this compound.
Poon was like setting up a set nade or something there. He was like, oh wait.
He was going to bounce it off the roof, and there's a hole in the roof that it actually falls down in and then bounces off the couch. It would have been a perfect flash. What? No.
Wait.
No.
Did that just bounce back in?
No, it bounced just on the door right outside.
Poon's got 18 stun grenades.
What is this new throw meta from him? Oh!
Poon's just shot kickstart.
He shot kickstart because Magi was behind him?
Okay, let's get a second set of Fs in the chat for Zenith. Twice in one team fight.
To be honest, it all looked so good before.
Oh, it looked fantastic. Yeah, Punic had like 4 different angles to bounce flashes out.
And he was hitting
Unfortunately,
so many of them. I think
unfortunately, all of them stunned kickstart. Oh, this lobby is not disappointing tonight.
Been an absolute banger of a start to a group stage, let me tell you.
That's one of the most promising teams in the lobby. So jumping back on Liberate do actually manage to make moves south. They're looking to pressure the Ice Cream that Gravity currently occupy.
Ooh,
Molotov's actually good through the window, but not going to spread.
I'm really impressed with the level of throwables that NA has leveled up to, because I will say the rest of the world has kind of been there. NA starting to finally catch up.
I mean, yeah, both opposite ends of the extreme sometimes, but
True. And Hard Shifts continuing to farm. Man, that team is so hot right now. Hard Shifts. I don't know what is going on with them, but they need to keep it up because they are absolutely killing it.
They are indeed. And actually now coming over to try and pressure in towards the swamp. 7 kills already for them. Putting in absolute work.
Yeah. I mean, Sonics is actually, from what I understand, has had a kind of quiet game, and that's kind of the curse of getting a really good position in that circle, right? They got there early, they rotated there early, off that first shift when the island was center. They went there, and they're, I mean, this is what happens, you know, when you get an incredibly good position, you don't really get to frag that much from it, and they only have one, and it's just one that Tig probably got somewhere cleaning up a kill. Yeah, this is the trade-off.
This is also, I was going to say, just a little bit of a stalemate, because now Sonics they're in the spot they're in.
Yeah. This goes back to what you always like to preach, which I agree with 100%, is you got to win the games you're given. And this is almost kind of like a game that, you know, is in their hands, essentially. As we see a wrap coming now from Liberate. Hello Senpai, the last one, 3 kills for this team. Can he potentially get another? This could be a devastating blow, or this could be Liberate going out with a whimper. We're about to find out. Coming over the crest. Find one to the right. No, don't go. He gets a point. He gets a point.
I mean, he gets the point.
Yep.
It's fine. I'll allow it. Veritas do manage to... Oh, okay. Okay, dude. Yeah, well, you said it. The games you're meant to win.
Yeah.
The games you are meant to win.
That is a very good circle for Sonics, but you never know. I mean, Hard Shifts has proven so far today in every game that they know how to start to navigate these kind of endgame circle situations, especially towards phase 6, phase 7. We may see that from them again, but again, T8, Tactical 8 is still trucking. I mean, they're still putting damage out there. They're getting kills, 6 kills to the name. They're surviving. As I say that, William gets shot in the face. But they're making it to these endgame situations. This was the biggest criticism we had for this team in the past. And not only are they making it there, but they're effectively using their positioning and
looking good as well.
The rotations. Yeah, I love this. Like, look at this play from Steezy.
Nade going to come right down towards the shack as well. Actually doesn't... somehow doesn't kill D2. He's got the level 3 vest and he's prone. That's why. But the molly is good.
He's on fire.
So it's just Michael now for Veritas, and he's inside of smoke just off to the north of here. But Steezy already done good work so far to try and get into this next circle. Michael getting fully stimmed up.
Michael has a very interesting play ahead of him as well. He could take out Steezy, but at the same time, he can also get into the circle relatively well, I think. The issue is that there's so many smokes down for both teams. Steezy, I wonder if he has any smokes left. He used quite a bit of them to cross, and it wasn't a bad decision, but here we go. Parallel to each other. Oh my God! Who is this? Who is that?
4 Smurfs have bought the Tactical 8. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I wasn't going to go that far, but that was...
He's cracked. He's cracked tonight.
By Steezy. And I think partly because he expected that, but holy hell, what a shot.
Nah, just absolute insanity. from Tactical 8 so far in the first few
And
games. They do.
He can hold his head up high going out and forth like that. That was
for sure.
beautiful.
For sure. Now we finally see Mime get some value off that rock position. He was waiting on the underside for the longest time. Hardship's actually going to lose lobes at the bottom there. Chuba, J-Sank, Maluk still positioned on the high ground.
J-Sank now. This is going to be a little tough. Oh, 9 kills. My goodness. Oh, what a shot as well coming out from Tig. J-Sank no slouch either, though.
I was just trying to figure out who actually has, and again, a lot of that high ground is cut because of, I mean, they can't play it because of Sonic's position. So, I mean, the north side of it is all that crappy water you can't run through. Mime's position literally holds Hardshifts off here.
And this is the thing. This is the last circle, right? It's not going to shift anywhere. After this, it's just phase 9. It's going to center dot, which I think Mime has. Oh, that was a... Oh, my God. What? My goodness, what a grenade.
That's actually... I
don't know if that one is better than the one earlier.
To explain what just happened there, somebody had literally marked the rock that he was on, and Mime cooked that to perfection.
Oh, yeah.
Up onto the top there.
Like a delicious turducken.
I mean, again, though, whoever goes out here, I mean, Hardshift's 9 kills, Sonic's 4 kills, potentially going to make it 7 here if they can clean up all of Hardshifts and nobody denies, but...
Regardless, even if Sonics wins this, and I'm not taking it away from them at all, Hardshift's ability to make it to this late in the game and then really impose their will on the circle up to the last team, I mean, again, this is fantastic work by Hardshifts. It's a 3rd game in a row. There it is. Center dot is going to be, I think, more in favor of Sonics. Hardshifts has quite a bit of work to do here, but it's definitely not impossible, especially with the use of these smokes. Maluk, if he can get a little bit around here to the right, I think Tig is watching this angle, though, which is going to make it very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Hardshifts need to get some damage out to capitalize on. I mean, they can't play the waiting game. Oh, as I say that, Tig does get shut down by Chuba, but they need something else because that's the furthest back member of Sonics.
Yeah, that was actually
else from Sonics is giving away anything.
And that was a really nice angle on Chuba to get on Tig. But you're right, Sonics isn't giving away anything. They still have Mime pretty much down at the center. If Chuba can get a knock here, this is huge. Oh my goodness! It's just Chuba. He's going to clean up both, or he hasn't. No, he has cleaned up both kills. I think he's just dead here, but go to the blue, maybe? I don't care what he does. At this point, it's all gravy. It's the start of the match, actually. I don't think...
That nade.
I think he should go for it. I mean, it's the beginning of the group stage. Why not? Yeah. Oh,
a good spray. Can't close out on it, though. The under angle.
Yep.
That's going to be it. And after an absolute bloodbath, Sonics come out on top with some strong mid-game positioning there, getting into the swamp early on. Again, you know, hats off to them. Avoiding that fight at the observatory, I think, was the key decision there that Sonics made.
Yes.
And I mean, we said it 2 or 3 times throughout there. You got to win the games that you're literally, I don't want to say gifted, but you are set up to win. And Sonics do absolutely that.
And they were set up. The thing is they put themselves in that position to be set up in the first place, right? So it's not as if they just sat in one spot in the circle the whole time. They had to rotate. But I will say that potentially was one of the best displays of grenades I've seen in a single game from North American PUBG. I mean, that was insane. I mean, starting
it doesn't happen often.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often. But what a game! And I'm going to continue to push the fact that Hardshifts are playing on a completely different level than they have in the past so far. I mean, it's ridiculous, as well as TAC 8, Steezy. My goodness, man. These 2 teams so far for the start of the day have been the best for me.
They have indeed. And that actually does it for Erangel, guys. We're going to throw it to a short break. When we come back, we'll be hopping over to Miramar, so don't go anywhere.